Alright, so I built this thing not too long ago, and I did that rock job with it, and I mainly wanted this for the property to haul stuff around. Well, you know, goofing around on Facebook, you know, you're always looking, trying to find that next deal on something. Well, I came across this thing. It's a 1-ton track crawler. It can hold 2,000 pounds. It's a 13.5 horsepower, 420 Briggs and Stratton on it, and it's got tracks, some pretty beefy tracks too. It's full hydraulic dump bed. Your levers are up here, so you got your right turn, your left turn. This is your clutch, and then when you pull your clutch back, you just move this up. It's a 3-speed with reverse, and then this is your emergency brake to stop it. And now what happened is I got this thing like the third of the price of what these go for. I barely paid anything for this thing. And what happened is a shipment from China, somebody ordered these, they came across, and they decided that they didn't want to pay the tariffs or something like that. So these sat inside of a container. There was about 10 of these, and they sat for about a year. And they had some fuel in them, so of course the carburetor was gunked. I did pop the bowl off and freed up the needle so fuel can go in the carb, so I can get this thing on the trailer. So I did do that already, but we still need to go through, change the oils. I need to change the hydraulic fluid. The battery was shot, so I got another battery. I got everything already in here. All the sides on this thing, you pull this lever here, and then you come over here, you pull this lever, and then this lever here. These sidewalls all fall down. This swings open and you just lift up and off, so then you can turn this into a flatbed too. And like I said, it's fully hydraulic. It's got one heck of a beefy gearbox down there. And then the way it's ran is you got your hydraulic tank here, and then right here you got your up and your down. So forward it's going to dump, backwards it's coming back down, and then you got your belt drive for your transmission, and then the belt drive that goes for the pump. And then I already stuck a tack on here because I wanted to be able to keep track of hours, plus I want to know what the RPM was. And there was no throttle on this thing. You had to pretty much come down here and move the throttle by hand. They already had this here, so all I did is I took a throttle off another mower I had and put it right here. So basically that's full throttle. That's basically this is 2,000 RPM right here, then this is 3,800 RPM right there. So that's the only thing I've done to it so far, but I want to get the new battery on it, get the fluids changed and everything on it, and then we'll go out and take it for a spin. Supposedly online from I read that in third gear this thing does 6 miles an hour, which is pretty quick for something like this. And I think this thing's gonna come in handy on a lot of jobs that I got one next Monday. It's a rock job. It's somebody, the rocks up on where the water edge is at, the rocks are falling in the water, so I'm taking the excavator down there to scrape all the rocks back up. But we also got to bring more rocks in. The problem is to get down to it, it's a real steep incline, and this thing is supposedly rated about 30% incline it can do, when most equipment does like I think 20. So but we'll find out how well it really does. But we'll go ahead and we'll probably go ahead and start getting the battery on it, and then I'll get my oil tray and we'll start draining the oils out of it and everything and refreshing it back up. And then the carburetor, if I'm thinking right, on top of the carburetor should be a little black cap. We'll pop that cap off and there should be a little fine needle jet in there. And a lot of times them get clogged. If your engine ever surges up and down, that's 90% of the time that's what's causing it. So we'll go ahead and pull that out too, because it only runs on choke. So, which I probably may have to take the carb off and fully clean it, but I figure we'll start from there. So we'll go ahead and start on that. Yeah, I mean, even the filter looks brand new. This thing has like no hours on it. I did have to drive 3.5 hours to go get it, so the whole day trip to go from leaving to go get it to get back home was about a 7-hour day. Alright, so what I'm talking about is right here, there's your idle screw right there, and then underneath that there's this little black piece. You pop that out of there, and then there should be a little filter, a little screen type thing inside there. So we'll go ahead and pull that out right now. Which I didn't do this, but you could do this. Count how many times you turn that, so when you put it back together you can put it back to where it was, but it's not that hard to set back up. Yep, so there's that little cap right there, and then now we can go ahead and pop the other piece out. Now if I'm right, this is going to be pretty plugged, and to be honest, there's kind of a stench coming out of it already. So alright, so you got your black cap, you pop that cap off, and then down in there there's this little thing right here. There's a little tiny hole down inside there, and that is completely plugged shut. This right here will make this thing run funky, make it idle up and down, can't hold an idle, got to run choke, and that's what a lot of people, they'll go through and try to clean the carb and clean it, can't figure out why. And then right there you can, let's see if I can get it in camera. Yeah, right there you can see the hole that it goes into. So if you're chasing a spot where you're where you can't get it to stop idling all funky, this is going to be your problem. And I see the O-ring is shot too. Yeah, O-ring's bad. So I got some O-rings in the garage. So we'll go ahead and get this cleaned, and we'll probably just put the bolts back on it, leave the carburetor open and fire it up and see how it runs, and then go from there. If we got to pull it that way, if we got to pull the carb off, we don't have to pull a whole bunch of stuff back off again. Alright, got the carburetor put back together and everything, so let's go ahead and try to see if we can start it, and we'll see what it sounds like now. Because like I said, before you could not take it off choke. If you took it off choke, it just shut off. So after cleaning that, that's for the idle, that port that I cleaned out. So we'll go ahead and try to start it and see if it starts. I got the choke on, and I just turned the fuel on. I'll give it maybe like half throttle. Now it actually idles. So we'll go ahead and get some heat up in the motor, and then I'll probably clean out the bed, and then we'll tilt this thing up, and then I'll send the oil pan underneath there so we can drain the oil. But we'll get the oil kind of hot and stuff, so that way a lot of it comes out. And then we'll just change the hydraulic fluid and let's run it. Alright, so take the handle, and when you push it forward, that'll raise just like that. There we go. So we'll go ahead. Only other thing too I gotta fix, when you turn the keys off, it doesn't turn off. So, and I noticed there's a wire that's unplugged, so I'm gonna have to find out if that's a steel wire or not. So we'll get, basically I just turn the fuel off so it'll shut itself down. Yeah, we need to fix that too. So it shouldn't be too hard to figure out. So I figured we'll just get the fluid changed. And I want to test it out. I want to load this thing up and down some dirt and see what it's like using it. Alright guys, it's running pretty good now. The kill switch, I found this wire right here unplugged, so it plugs in somewhere, and that's probably the kill switch right there. So I'll find that out. It's about to start raining here soon. But yeah, I loaded some dirt up just to kind of test. The first time I ever put dirt in it, and the dirt kind of got stuck. It's kind of damp a little bit, but it made me realize that I could probably put this thing in reverse and tilt the bed just enough, and then like say you're spreading rock, you could probably spread the rock out with this thing. So that might even come even more handy with that. But we'll find out Monday how well this thing's gonna work out. I mean, I think it's gonna work pretty good with that excavator. And the controls, they take a little bit to get used to, because like I said, you got this right here is this will be what, turn left, this will be turn right, and then you got your full brake, which pulls everything, the clutch and both brakes. And then this is your clutch right here. You pull this back, and then when that's back, you can go to first, second, or third, or reverse. And once you get used to it, it's not that difficult. But man, at first it took me a minute to get used to that, because you got to be kind of fast with it. But that's why I wanted to put in make it to where I can adjust the idle myself, so it's not just full throttle all the time, because that's when stuff starts getting a little finicky. So that way, when you're ready to slow down, you just turn the idle down, and then you kind of just cruise to where you need to go. So, but time will tell, and we'll be using it on the next job on Monday, which has got a decent sized hill, and we're going to be carrying rock down that. So that's the true test for it. So if you want to see more on this, hit the subscribe button, and there'll be more videos on this stuff. Thanks for watching.